What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the Horror and Report, where we got all the horror movie, gaming news, and everything in between. I'm the host, Kyle Kurzflett. Today, we're going to be discussing why Scream changed horror forever. Now, I'm not doing this alone. I got a very awesome special guest joining me. It's from Chris. What's your new channel name now?
Chris watches and talks movies.
Chris watches and talk movies, because usually it was Chris talks, Chris and talk. Yeah. So Chris watches and talks movies. So how are you doing?
I'm good, Kyle. Thanks for having me, and I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, thank you for being here. I had to get used to just saying that name now. So that's the first time I ever said it.
I'm kind of the same with my name as well. Sometimes I keep well, I know what I've got to say, but when I go to actually do the intro, I keep wanting to say the old one. So it just takes a few weeks, and then obviously, from there it just clicks, and you never go back to saying the old name again.
Same here, because this is my first time ever saying it, so I had to catch myself up. I had to ask you, what is it? So before we start, what were you saying about the intro, Chris?
Oh, that's what I was going to say. Basically, what you just said. I was going to say, obviously now that you've changed your YouTube name, do you when you obviously go live, do you ever get that feeling at your head that you're gonna mess it up and say your old channel name instead of the new one?
When I first did the video, I had to do it a few times just to get used to the Horror Report. But other than that, I'm used to saying Horror Report now. So yeah. But yeah, I had to catch myself with the very first video I did. So I was so used to saying the other name. But no, I think this is a new era, new start. So, and I like the logo too, Horror Report. It's a pretty cool name.
I do. I love what you've done with the rebranding of the channel so far. It looks good.
Yeah, thank you. So our main and I also like that your new logo as well, since you started fresh as well.
Yeah, well, I like to obviously Chris and Shell talk movies, and I really did like that, and I didn't really want to change too much, so it was easy. It was easier just to drop out the shell and just add in the watches and talks.
Yeah, and it still fits what you've been doing in the past. So and also I love that, and also people who's watching go subscribe to Shell's new channel, Shell Be a Suspect as well.
Shell Be Suspects. That's the channel name for
Be
Shell.
Suspect. And it really fits her as well. So
yes,
and I know she's got amazing content coming. So
yes. Just in case if you didn't know, Shell is more of a thriller fan than a horror fan, so that's kind of why she's got the whole Shell Be Suspect thing going on.
And what we're going to be talking today is kind of like a thriller as well. So as well, there's some horror. But anyway, we'll be discussing why Scream changed horror forever, especially at the time. So, Chris, do you want to kick us off? Why you think Scream definitely changed horror forever?
For me, I think it changed horror, like specifically at the time. I believe, for me personally, I just think obviously because Wes Craven was part of that early era anyway in the 80s and stuff. I think he took what worked for him, and obviously Kevin Williamson was the writer of Scream. I think he took what worked from the earlier horror movies and just sort of reinvented it. And that's where we got the meta horror and like the self-aware meta and all that type of stuff.
Right.
And I think I was going to say probably basically sort of at the time as well. Just everyone just would have found that opening like very brutal. So for me, that's just what sort of changed horror movies at that time, and that's just what stuck with everybody.
100%, because Scream definitely changed horror forever, especially in the 90s, especially at the time when horror was just was starting to just go downhill for a while. All it was just sequels and repeated stuff and just stuff that were lacking until Wes came in and Kevin came together to create Scream together. Kevin's script and he directing, and it changed. Added elements that horror never had before. And then it changed, even slashers too at the same, because slashers have evolved since Scream. They learned from what to do, not to do. And it also set the bar high for horror openings too, I think. So in that way, it changed horror openings forever as well with that opening, because I think it's genius. Yes, it took the cycle route, but it also twisted it. And it told in a new dimension. If that makes any sense. And then especially, Drew Barrymore wanted Roger L. Jackson, like an actor, to be in the screen, not no one else. She wanted an actual actor, and he brought in Roger L. Jackson, which was one of the best, choices to do it, because he became the iconic Ghostface voice that we hear throughout the whole entire franchise.
Well, we
So,
do, and that's kind of like the conversation that I've sort of had with people. Like everyone loves Nev Campbell and stuff. She's like the final girl of Scream, but we've had Scream 6 without Nev Campbell, but just like what's that going to be like when we don't have Roger Jackson doing the voice anymore?
you know, if they eventually probably would take the A Raya route, knowing then, you
Yeah,
know, unfortunately, that's how it is, because that's such an iconic voice. You can't change that voice. You know what I mean?
no,
That became the stable of Ghostface, and to me, I thought it was awesome that he also created, a killer could be in a natural costume. Yes, we had Jason, which is cool, with all the hockey masks and monsters. We had Michael, and we also had, Freddy. But we never had, well, and we had to have human characters, but we never had like like an actual human character dressed in a costume like that.
yeah,
And 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 they created certain rules for, horror to have people have token, and even the stuff. And that's been shown throughout the years that they're still taking inspiration from Scream. I mean, it started a whole new genre, with urban legend and, Valentine, I Know What You Did Last Summer, all those type of stuff. And if it wasn't for Scream, horror wouldn't still be strong, wouldn't, came back, and now we're having a new renaissance of horror, of different horror stuff now.
yeah,
So,
absolutely.
because horror was dying, and it was for many reasons. But now, and I think West also showed that young people can come in, because Kevin was young, wrote that script, and young people can come in and create fresh new stories. And that's why new people are still coming in for Obsession, Backrooms, Passion, all that
Yes.
other new stuff, and because of Scream. So
You actually had an idea yesterday with Carrie Buck. I was like, oh well, could he direct the next Scream film? But I think he'd be too busy doing Texas Chainsaw Massacre, so I don't think that's
yeah,
going to work.
he would be a good choice, but he would be busy. That's
Yeah,
the only thing that would stop that. He's busy right now, and I think he fits the next Texas Chainsaw. So
yeah, oh definitely. Because
he wants to bring. Go
I was
ahead.
actually gonna put that in a post yesterday. I was like, oh, do you think Carrie Barker would like fit the next Scream film, like as a director? And I thought, no, I'm probably going to get back. I'm probably going to get people are just going to message me straight away and say, well, he's going to be busy with Texas Chainsaw Massacre. So I didn't worry about with the post.
He would be a perfect choice for sure.
Mm.
But yeah, and also created, um because I don't because yes, Black Christmas also, kind of made, like, the boyfriend did it, but they never really, you know added, like, yes, we had whodunit type movies, you know what I mean, with Sleepaway Camp, but you never, had a movie where it could be the boyfriend, you know what I mean? It could actually be your close friends around you at school, and actually
Yeah,
have 2 killers at the same time was something fresh and new.
yeah,
Because people thought, and the twist, you know, and then they also throw a twist on top of the twist on Motive Automotive, which I thought
yeah.
was pretty cool as well. So
Yeah, for me, I think like for Scream, that's also what works too. You have the killer that's sort of like close to that core group as well.
yeah,
Because I actually watched a thriller movie the other day. I watched a movie called Hangman, and it basically got to the end, and it did like the reveal of like who was actually doing these Hangman games, and you got to it, and you're like, oh, who the hell's this dude? Because you didn't see him at all like through the whole movie, so you're like, so it had like no connection to the. Well, we had a connection to the story. It was basically like him being pretty much left to himself as a kid and sort of go like in his own sort of way in life.
right.
But at least with Scream, you know those your characters are basically going to be there pretty much nearly the whole film.
Yeah, and it also created, horror rules, don't have sex, don't drink, don't do drugs,
Yeah.
you know, and never say be right back. Even though Sydney did all those, well, not drugs, but did all those things and still survived. So,
Yes.
um, and a lot of slasher films still follow that, and there's the ones that don't even follow that at all and still stay strong. But at the time, it was something fresh, and they introduced a whole new generation. Even and it even brought to a new, it even created new horror fans too.
Yeah.
So, and and it also created, yeah, we may have spoiled the killer early, but maybe not. And then yes, there's Billy, but then you're like, oh, what, another one? Because you thought it was just all one killer.
Yeah.
So it's genius.
And generally, that's what I thought Scream has done well. You know, they've done the whole red herring thing, so you think it's that person, then it just sends more twists.
Yeah.
Because in Scream One, you had the sheriff, he had the boots as well.
Yeah, they threw so many on everybody, and that way you couldn't just think of one person. They even had clues on even Randy, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
They threw it on Tatum, they threw it on everybody in that movie, which
they
I thought
did.
was genius. That's what creates a really good slasher, the mystery aspect, and unfortunately, that's what some of the 5 and 6 kinda fell off a little bit,
Yeah,
and that was missing the point, and I have talked about that in the past. But yeah, I think Scream, brought the meta in, was able to still be serious, but still throwing in certain humor in there, which
yeah,
is done very well. And it even showed you, yeah, Halloween and Nightmare have done it, but even showed you that, um the music can be its own character and give some cues. Because they did some cues around each person to say, they're telling you who the killer is without actually telling you.
yeah,
That
yeah,
makes
yeah,
using music cues
yeah,
that no one done before. Because yes, you have your own. There's horror themes in there, but they never use the cues to tell you. Oh, we're telling you we're getting little sprinkles. There's the killer,
yeah.
which is secretly genius, I think.
It is, and it's funny that you go back now and you watch, and obviously we know who the killers are, and you just see the little twinkles throughout the film. Anyway,
Yeah, and you're like, oh, now that you're now because now you know who the killers and now you're paying attention. To go back, you're like,
yeah,
oh, now because when you first watch, it, you don't really think about this stuff, and now you go like, oh, they're throwing the little sprinkles that it is Billy and Stu throughout the
yeah,
movie.
yeah. There's that little sprinkle, like in obviously Scream One, you got when they're sitting at that fountain. Billy and Stu are actually wearing the boots,
Yes, but
and
no one
you
said you
just
did, buddy.
yeah. Yeah,
He's
and
just,
obviously, yeah, there's a few lines in there where, and it's even the cue that I think when Billy looks, when he does the whole "nobody said you did," like the whole like,
because he's trying to tell him, just shut up, Stu.
yeah, yeah,
I'm the one who, yeah.
yeah,
Just shush, because he was telling him to shut up. Not, don't
yeah.
give us away.
And sort of the
And
way I took it there as well as when Billy says, "Oh, nobody said you did," is obviously like for me personally, when it's actually Billy who does that, he does a whole big sort of knife and actually does that big struck down to her. I think that's Billy, so it's sort of saying, I'm the one who actually like
yeah,
killed her anyway.
yeah, you helped, but I'm the one that killed her.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think it's genius, and I wish slash the slasher films would get back to that kind of aspect, especially slashes that are good whodunit type films. So
yeah, it's like they always start off strong, and then all of a sudden, it's like they sort of get lazy towards the end, and you're like, oh, he's the killer, or
right,
she's the killer.
yeah, because it's different. It's different when you do like a Terrifier film. Then those are not slasher films; those are more like splatter type films, if you know what
Yeah,
I
yeah,
mean.
yeah,
Because we already know who the killer is. It's not like who's the killer? Well, point at that clown over
yeah,
there. There's no one tend to be a clown. It's hard to clown.
yeah,
So, but where like Scream is Scream, there's a mystery aspect. Like, oh,
yeah,
so I want to be guessing who's the killer even before the movie comes out, and who's the killer throughout the movie. I'm like, oh well, this is just I already know.
yeah,
They just wait, get it. Now we're just waiting to get the reveal. So. And we kind of did return to that a little bit in 7. Even though we was guessed, we still kind of got that a little bit. Not much, but a little bit. So, you know what I mean?
yeah, for sure.
because it was even guessed even before the movie who they could be the killers. So, and that's why I like the movies like Happy. I think Scream even opened days like Happy Death Day as well, because Chris
Yes.
Landon did amazing aspects with that. Because you're like, well, who keeps killing her?
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's why I think Scream created fresh new stuff. The meta, the mystery aspect, the two killers, which is genius, and he also created using your music cues as a little hints, and also give you the twist on a twist, and even change final acts, in my opinion.
It did.
So, and
I will
also,
ask. I will ask though, obviously, because we're talking about Screamer. Would you like to see like a single killer again?
like almost what we got with Roman.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
But technically Wes was still throwing in Angelina. I would love to see a single killer again if it has to be the right person, the right
yeah,
cast
yeah, yeah,
member, and the right
yeah,
character, and
yeah.
really well written, and keep the mystery aspect like really gun hole where you're like, oh, it could be that person. So we're not knowing who it really is, and don't give it away until bam, we just bam, now we got you, and bam, and twist everyone's heart like, oh, what?
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah. I love like Scream 5 and 6 and stuff, but kind of like what people sort of talked about before. The problem with the cast now is obviously they pick the big actors to be the killers, so it's kind of picked out beforehand anyway.
Because where Scream worked, you know what I mean? They picked on really unknown people. Yes, Courtney from Friends, but not
Yeah,
like big, you know what I mean?
yeah.
Everyone was still unknown at the time. No one really knew Nev. No one knew Randy, Jamie, or Skeet, or Matthew, and all the ones that were in this movie, except for Henry Wick, if you knew him from Happy Days.
Yeah. Hey.
Hey, I wish you
Yeah.
would have did that as a principal. Hey, some way, shape, or form. Listen here, you little shits.
Yeah.
Hey,
Hey.
it's like, not you, Fred. Hey, what you
Yeah.
call me?
Well, the only Fonzie reference they had is obviously they had his jacket. They had his jacket inside the cupboard.
Right, but it would be really cool when he said, "What you call me? Not you, Fred.
Yeah.
Hey."
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, but no, yeah, I would love them to see to just go back to one killer
Yeah.
for once, and write it really, really good, and keep it tight, and that way when we do find out who the reveal, we're like, no.
Yeah.
Like a big shock moment, because even in 7, and yes, it's the good awesome reveals, but I still wasn't as shocked. Like, did you see who this is? Texting everybody that watched it, like,
Yeah.
you see that reveal? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, when Ethan Embry took off his mask, well, obviously that's who I sort of picked from the casting anyway. I was like, oh, okay, I knew that. And then obviously when it was Jessica, I didn't
Well,
really care. I didn't really care about Anna Camp being a killer anyway. So
no, well, people were already suspecting that was Anna Camp anyway, so that was already out the window. So, and
yeah,
I think it was Jessica, and even if it ended up being Stu, people were expecting Stu anyway. So either way, it wouldn't have been that big of a surprise anyway. So
no, it wouldn't have been. Yeah, I can say that it's definitely for 7.
because people were already expecting it was Stu, and then people were expecting Anna Camp. So either way, no matter who the killer was, it was already going to be. All people already were expecting it. So also like it was going to be a surprise, unless people were expecting Stu and Anna Camp, and then throw someone else in there. Then would have been a surprise. So,
Yeah,
that people were expecting.
yeah. I don't know what they're going to do, like with the casting of Scream 8. We don't know obviously yet who's going to come back and stuff from 7. But yeah, I would definitely cast people who have they've played the good guy, they've played the good boy or girl in movies, and they've played the bad as well.
Yeah.
So you can't just pick it straight out.
No, and that would just pick someone that you're like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
And now it's like, oh, Mechanic, like the saying, Mechanic Grace is in it. But when people might expect she might be the killer. But then
Yes,
we know,
because
obviously she wasn't, but I'm just saying.
well, you could think that because she's played both them roles before.
Yeah. So they just needed to just for any, because we know that any feature movie, they just need to just keep it tight and don't, and that way we don't guess who it is right away and not expect certain people. Give us that bone crunching moment, or like
Yes.
that gasping moment, like the jaw dropping type moment, like, huh?
Yes.
What?
And
So,
stop
but that,
releasing so many trailers.
yeah, and keep the trailers tight because I'm gonna be, returning with spoiled, no spoiled, fresh new start, and good and bad. I'll be bringing back good and
Yeah, yeah.
bad because that's that was my good and bad. I'll be bringing it back to this channel and start fresh with it. But spoiled, no spoiled, that'll be returning, starting fresh with that, and the when I recently did do those show that even the first trailer, no one was expecting billions to.
Yeah.
When you first watched it back in 1996 or 95 when it first released that trailer, so before the internet, and that's
Which
another.
mo- which movie did you do of mine of spoiled, non-spoiled?
You said urban legend to me.
Oh, was it? Okay. I've got another one for you there. You should and I think we've talked about this movie recently. You should try to do Mine Hunters.
Oh yes, and I'll redo the Scream trailers too as well.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
I can't remember what I said last year about that.
Yeah.
That was a long time ago. But yeah, that's why that's why the first Scream changed things because it brought that mystery aspect. But now we're all getting away from that, even including its franchise. So,
Yes.
and I'm a
Definitely
huge
get
fan of Scream.
I am definitely and definitely need to get back to that whole mystery. That's for sure.
Yeah, because I love the Scream franchise. It's just if you're gonna keep going, you need to do it why we love Scream in the first place and get it back to that. So
Yes, make it
that,
surprising, take some risks.
yes, because as much as I love Scream 7, it didn't do all that.
No.
But there was great, amazing. But the movie is still amazing and fun. It's
It
just that what
was.
no mystery aspect was there. So,
And obviously they couldn't do it with the whole Stu aspect in Seven, but obviously we need more Roger L. Jackson back in the voice.
yes, more Roger L. Jackson Ghostface. So voice, you know what I mean? Because that's
Yeah.
what drives him. So besides the costume, of course.
Yes.
So
Yes, that is definitely its own character, the costume and the voice.
and yes, we had Halloween costumes before, but Scream also changed the game for Halloween costumes as well. That's also another thing that it did. It set the bar higher for horror movie costumes to come as Halloween costumes. If that
Yeah.
catches my drift. So
And when it comes to Halloween, unless you're sort of like a mask collector and stuff, you don't really notice the sort of mostly the mask changes anyway.
yeah, and even the robe that it created too for Ghostface. So,
Yeah. Which
so
yeah, obviously I think when you had this conversation when I watched It's a Wonderful Knife.
oh yeah,
And I said, oh, and when I was watching that, and obviously that had the white robe in there, I was like, I'd love to see a scene with obviously the white robe, which obviously they did want to do in the original Scream, but obviously they thought it was going to
well,
be too hard to match up with all the stains and stuff, so that's why they
well,
went with the black.
well. I think it would fit if you're gonna use the right robe. I would think it would fit more like a cold winter type setting.
Oh yeah, definitely like a
Because
Christmas snow in type thing for sure.
yeah, because if you just did it in a normal Scream movie, it would not fit.
No, no, no.
You have to do it in a winter type setting.
Yes,
So
100% agree on that.
and that way, when the blood splatters, it looks good on the snow and it can look good on the robe. So,
Yes.
'cause if you just have some white costume running around during the daylight, you're gonna definitely be seeing it. That's not gonna work. Where you had the Ghostface costume running around in bushes and even in stores fit more
Yeah.
perfectly to do it like that. If you're running with a robe, it's
Yeah.
like over there.
Yeah. Was that Casper?
Alright, Casper, that's a wrap. Randy, what the hell are
Yeah.
you doing?
Yeah.
I'm not Randy. Yes. I can still do that voice.
Yes. Always time for the old Ghostface voice.
Can you imagine if he was working at Pizza Hut? He answered as his voice. Oh, what kind of pizza? What's your favorite pizza?
Oh, that'd be hilarious, eh?
Just
If they got
if they did that for
Roger,
like to
okay.
promote the next Scream. Yeah.
Yeah, if they got Roger Jackson like in some sort of Dominoes or something for a bit of publicity, bit of fun.
Just to promote the new Scream
Yeah.
movie. What's your? I want pepperoni, please. Wrong answer.
Yeah.
If you put pineapple on your pizza, it'll be gutted like a fish.
Yeah. Hey, don't up the pineapple.
You know what I meant. You know what I mean? Just gets mad if you choose the wrong ingredients. That's what
Yeah.
I'm making fun of.
That
So,
would be hilarious for sure.
but yeah, Scream definitely has changed, and it's the reason why horror's the strongest it's ever been. One of the main reasons. So,
100%.
because if we didn't get Scream, we wouldn't be having the movies we had in the thousands and the movies that are still going now. So,
Well,
you know what I mean?
well, we got obviously. Yeah, well, you got not. I know we did our summer urban legends. What other things? Obviously, Valentine. That would have been another one. What sort of branched off of that?
It also opened the door for other type of horror genres to come in. Saw, you know, people, this horror change, and that's added in the found footage genre. So
Yes.
I think it opened the door for other genres to come into horror too, I believe, in my opinion.
Yes.
Because if it wasn't for Scream, horror genre would be dead, we wouldn't be getting these movies. So,
I agree.
was anything your last words you want to say before we go?
I don't think so. I think we've pretty much covered everything. I think.
Yeah, so this was a lot of fun doing why Scream changed horror forever. So.
It was good to get back for a little bit and to talk about a bit of Scream again.
Yes, and like I said, yeah, it was fun talking about Scream, and there will be a variety of stuff I'll be discussing on this channel. So, Chris, you want to let the viewers know where they can find you and what you got coming up on your channel?
You'll find me at Chris's Watch a Movie Party. And then I've got coming up on the channel. I'm currently doing the TV show Cape Fear at the moment. I'm doing watch parties from that every week. And then throughout the week, I've got I'm actually going back to Basic Instinct 2. I'll be doing tomorrow night. And then Tuesday and Wednesday, I'll be doing Insomnia and the movie The Recruit. So I've got a little bit of an Al Pacino going on this week.
So,
yeah,
I used to do his voice perfectly.
Yes.
But awesome. Go subscribe to Chris Watch and Talk Movies if you haven't subscribed already. Go subscribe to him. Does awesome content over there. As for me, I uploaded actually, I had a Texas Chainsaw Massacre stream. If you guys haven't checked it out, go check it out. Got a couple videos on there where I discussed the Hellraiser release date and why I was hyped for Halloween. Go check that out. By the time this will be uploaded, I do have more videos coming through the week, and I am bringing back interviews as well. There'll be interviews coming on the channel. There'll be other gaming streams. There'll be other type of content I'll be covering, and I'll be covering any horror movie gaming news as well. So there's a lot of content I got planned for the new channel. So a lot of stuff coming for both our channels.
Yes. Well, let's just say we're not even in July yet, and we were not in July yet, and I was already working on August's schedule last night. So.
Oh yeah, I got plans for the July too. I'm even working with creators I haven't even worked with yet. So.
Nice. It's always good to work with new ones.
Yes. And with that being said, thanks for watching. Enjoy the rest of your day, everyone. Have a good one. Cheers, everyone. Bye.
Bye.